Thank you. Since the Paris Agreement in 2015, business, governments, and intergovernmental organisations have been setting increasingly tough climate targets. This has led to pressure on the maritime industry to cut emissions or risk going out of business. The International Maritime Organization has adopted its initial strategy on the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions from ships in 2018, targeting a 50% reduction in total annual greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 compared with 2008. In July, the European Commission presented its Fit for 55 package, the legislative proposals that will enable the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions in 2030 to at least 55% compared to 1990 levels. Although still under discussion, one can be fairly certain that the pack will contain a requirement that in 2024 maritime emissions will be included into the EU emissions trading system. On a governmental level, states have the power to set their own targets. For example, in Norway's latest climate strategy, the government has committed to a 50% emissions reduction from domestic shipping and fisheries by 2030 compared with 2005. To meet these ambitions, goals and collaboration must step up. We do not have time to waste. Fortunately, in the last 2.5 years, we have witnessed a step change in announcements of new projects, and some of the oldest and best known projects are now hitting the water. I will now present some of the most exciting hydrogen and ammonia projects around the world. This is not an exhaustive list, but I hope to provide an update and hopefully inspire you to collaborate with your networks to bring about the next generation of projects. Arguably the best known maritime hydrogen project, Sea Change, previously known as Water Go Round, was launched in August 2021. The vessel concept, derived from Sandia's SF Breeze study in 2016, is the first hydrogen-only commercial ferry in the world, the first hydrogen vessel in North America, and the first hydrogen vessel to go through the US Coast Guard certification process. The vessel is currently undergoing commissioning and trials in Bellingham, Washington State, before transferring to operation planned for San Francisco Bay. Commercial operation is expected to start in December 2021. The vessel will run on compressed hydrogen using around 1 to 200 kilograms per day and is estimated to lead to a 514 tonne of carbon emission reduction per year per vessel when using green hydrogen. Like all the projects I will show now, this has involved a huge collaboration between many different stakeholders. Another vessel launched this year was CMB Tech and Tsuneishi's Hydro Bingo in Japan. Hitting the waters of Tokuyama and Kudomatsu ports, Hydro Bingo is an 80-person passenger ferry that is the world's first JCI-approved commercial passenger vessel on hydrogen. It has also been certified according to the requirements of the IGF code and the safety guidelines for hydrogen-fueled and fuel cell ships. The ferry is powered by diesel-hydrogen dual-fuel engines, which has the potential to reduce emissions by up to 50% compared to a conventional diesel engine. The compressed hydrogen is produced locally in the city of Tokuyama and is refueled via a mobile trailer with a capacity of 100 kilograms. Also launched this year in May was the world's first zero-emission pushboat, Elektra. This is a collaboration between the Technical University of Berlin, Behala, SER, Anleg, Est-Floattech, HGK, Swiftwerft, Harman-Barta. With a total project cost of approximately 13 million euros, the compressed hydrogen-powered vessel is now in Berlin and is in a testing phase. Looking forward into the future to 2022, we are very excited to see the completed retrofitting of future-proof shipping's inland container vessel, the Maas. Operating on the waterways in Netherlands and Belgium, The project's partners are Future-Proof Shipping, BCTN network of container terminals, Holland Shipyards Group, Kerdud Marine Group, and Nedstack. The 110-metre-long vessel will run on compressed hydrogen stored in two 500-kilogram swappable containers. The mast is expected to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 2,000 tonnes annually and is powered by 3 PEM fuel cell units of 275 kilowatts. "2022 will also see the launch of Zulu, a barge vessel that is part of the EU-funded Flagships project. The vessel will operate on the River Seine in Paris between the districts of Gennevilliers and Bonneuil-sur-Marne and will operate on compressed hydrogen in 400 kilowatt PEM fuel cells. Flagships is an EU-wide collaboration between many partners, and more information can be found on the project website. Competing with Sea Change for the world's best-known maritime hydrogen project is Norled's MF Hydra. The Ro-Ro ferry was launched earlier this year and is currently undergoing testing on its route, the Hjelmeland connection in Rogaland County, Norway. Currently operating battery electric, the hydrogen equipment will be installed over winter, ready to begin operation in 2022. Looking a little further forward, and the excitement only builds, announced in 2020, together, Heidelberg Cement and Fellowship put out a request for interest for the design of a zero-emission bulk ship vessel to operate between Oslo and Rogaland, with sailing planned to start in 2023. 31 ship concepts responded to the RFI, with the winning concept coming from Egil Uvan Rederi and ship designer Norwegian Ship Design. The vessel is powered by nature, with 2 rotor sails and a compressed hydrogen internal combustion engine. The vessel will be able to operate 100% emission-free. Statkraft is responsible for the production of hydrogen, where 4.3 tonnes will be stored in swappable containers on board. This means bunkering can take place either via cascade bunkering or container swapping. A further standout aspect of this project is the 15-year contract awarded by Heidelberg Cement and Fellowship to Egil Uvan Rederi for the operation of the vessel. Also planned to be sailing from 2023 is High Seas Energy's pilot project, a 200-person passenger ferry that will operate in the port of Toulon in the French Mediterranean. The project is a collaboration between High Seas Energy, Batalha de la Côte d'Azur, NG, and the local Chamber of Commerce. As one of the 26 companies participating in the DNV-led Mar High Safe project, High Seas Energy has helped in the creation of the handbook for hydrogen-fueled vessels, a vital resource that sheds light on the key things to know about hydrogen as a ship fuel. The ferry has a FC power class notation and will have 260 kilos of compressed hydrogen stored under deck. Powering a 600 kilowatt fuel cell unit, there is a 200 kilowatt hour buffer battery bank. The year after, in 2024, we will see the first of Viridis Bulk Carriers ammonia-powered ships hitting the water. Viridis Bulk Carriers is a joint venture between Navigar Logistics, Maritime, and Morsford's Rederi. The joint venture will develop, build, and operate zero-emission bulk carriers. The project consortium also includes Kongsberg Maritime and Ocean Hyway Cluster. The fleet will provide emissions-free shipping services to Elkem, Vestkorn, BMR, Franzafos Minerals, and Salt Import. The vessels will be powered by internal combustion engines burning ammonia. Demand between 6 and 12 tonnes per day This will lead to a reduction of 6,000 tonnes of CO2 emissions per year. We will also see the launch of Topeka Natruten in 2024. Topeka is the demonstration vessel for HyShip HFC JU project with €8 million of project support. The HyShip project has 14 EU partners, and more information about them can be found on the website. The project has also received 200 million Norwegian kroner of support from Enova. Powered by liquid hydrogen, Topeka Natruten will provide an overnight ro-ro service between Norwegian west coast of Bergen and Stavanger, shifting cargo from the road to the sea. As well as a general cargo, the vessel will transport liquid hydrogen to bunkering locations along the coast, a zero-emission distribution service for green liquid hydrogen. Although further into the future still, I will mention two final vessel projects as they have the potential to really shake things up using new technologies. With the project coming to a close by 2025, the EU-funded SHIP FC project is a research and development project where Eidesvik platform supply vessel Viking Energy will be retrofitted with a 2 megawatt ammonia fuel cell system. The aim of the project is to reduce CO2 emissions by 70% and NOx emissions by 80% compared to a baseline MGO engine. The ammonia fuel cell system will be installed on the Viking Energy in late 2023, and this is the first time that an ammonia-powered fuel cell will be installed on a vessel. Last, but certainly not least, is the potentially revolutionary development led by Hydrogenious LOHC Maritime, a joint venture between Hydrogenious LOHC Technologies and Østensjø Group. The project aims to develop and demonstrate a multi-megawatt emission-free drivetrain for maritime use on the basis of liquid organic hydrogen carrier, LOHC technology. The project was recently awarded 26 million Norwegian kroner support from Enova. Edda Wind, a company owned by Østensjø Group and Wilhelmsen, has 6 new-build commissioning, service and operation vessels that will be ready to use LOHC as fuel. The project aims to have tested a 200 kilowatt onboard pilot by the end of 2023 and commercialized a megawatt system by 2025. The Edda Wind vessels will enable zero-emission construction and operation of offshore wind farms. Rather than an exhaustive list, I hope this summary has given you an insight into some of the leading low and zero-emission maritime projects around the world. As you have seen, several of these have already hit the water. However, there is a long way to go to achieve net zero by 2050. I hope that in 5 years' time, this summary would take me an entire day to complete, because that is the pace of change that is needed. Now is the time for collaboration. Together, we can make green waves.